I can't seem to figure out what the issue is with it. Like it's just showing me just a black screen.
You have it set to the right camera, correct?
I mean, it's not really giving me an option to set it to a camera, like, for the input devices, output devices. I mean, that's for the microphone and the headphones, but
Even in Discord, like when you hover over the camera, turn off camera, turn on camera, there's no drop down button.
not that I'm seeing. Hold on. Oh, there we go. There we go.
There he is.
All right. Yeah, it did change the option.
All right, let's see here. Oh, really? Are you really going to make me do this crap? Yes, you are. Remind me later. I'll change my password then. All right. I think it's all good there. Oh, all right. You guys good to go?
Yep, all set.
Yeah, let's do it.
As good as we're going to get, right?
I need a beer.
Right.
Give me one too, will you? Oh, thank you.
I know I'll need it later at some point, so.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. All right, let's do this. That was all head. How did I get so much damn head right there?
Yeah, it was. Nasty.
And we are live. Hello, welcome to Griffcast episode 82, the Mature Nerd Podcast for immature people, the show where we talk about any and all things nerd, from video games, comic books, movies, computer technology, and or science. I am your host and King Neckbeard Griffmore. As you can see, we're down a couple of people tonight. We got one guy who's out with the ick and another fella who is out with the work. So we are going to do a three-man show tonight, which is just fine. It'll be a little bit shorter of a show probably, depending on how deep we get into some of these topics. And then also, just a heads up, there will not be a show next week, because I am married to a woman who has had a child. So
Does that mean that it's a birthday or an anniversary? Or...
it's Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I am fucking up. Oh. Woo.
Yeah.
I am fucking up.
They decided to drop it on a Sunday on us this year. I think it's always on a Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think they always make it on a Sunday.
Yeah. So no show next week. Which is going to be interesting because it's also the Diablo beta weekend. So I had to get like everything done on Saturday because Sunday's not going to happen.
Like the first three betas or the first two betas weren't enough for you? So you
Well, see, they were.
Betas 1, 2?
They were up until they decided to add another new earnable cosmetic in this one.
A new earnable cosmetic that you won't be able to transfer over to the...
No, you like all the earnable cosmetics you transfer to live.
Oh, it's just
So,
your players.
yeah.
levels. Okay.
So like it's one of those things that I want to have in like 5 years when I'm still playing the game and be like, yo, check this out. I was there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but hey, that's just me, gotta look good, play good. But, so, all right, I'm going to jump into this one here because, I replayed through Forgotten Order and then as a prelude to deciding to go ahead and get Jedi Survivor. And, I bought it on Steam, so I've been playing on PC. I've had zero issues with it. A little bit of stuttering and some cutscenes, but that's it. I'm also capping myself out at 75 FPS because that's all my monitors can handle. So I'm not sitting there trying to push 200 FPS out of this game. So it ported perfectly fine for me, which means it's probably perfectly fine for most people who are doing into PC gaming. Now, as a whole, I'd say this game's about 80% better than the original. Like this is the time that the sequel is better than the original. We've got better combat, more options in combat. Let's see, I'm probably a good 30 hours in, so I think I can speak on a lot of this. I've unlocked everything that you can unlock when it comes to combat and all that. So I don't know how far into the story I am. There is more of a story this time around. There's a little bit more character building. Actually, there's character building in general.
There's more than a lot. There's more than a little. There's a lot of character building.
Yeah.
Yeah. The story is good.
I gotta turn you guys up a little bit. Yeah, TSP, you might wanna. Let me see. This might be on my end. Let me double check.
Okay.
Nope, it's all on you.
Every time.
It's all on you.
Why would it not be?
Hey, there we go. We're getting there.
How about now? You want me to go up or go down?
Can you go up just a little bit?
Go up just a little bit. Okay.
Yep. Too much?
Not enough.
We'll let it go for now.
I'm leaving it.
All right, we'll let it go for now. Combat is still really challenging. It's not Dark Souls level combat, but it is just as challenging, if not a little bit more challenging than the original in some of the fights. Have you done any of the legendary fights yet?
What do you mean by legendary? But I mean, imagine, yeah, I've come across legendary bosses and just
like the optional legendary bosses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The frog one was.
Yeah, that was a pain in the ass.
And then he has a force echo too, where you fight two of them.
Oh no.
And that was a fucking pain in the ass as well. That was terrible. I hated every single second of it.
I haven't done that yet.
And a lot of these bosses, they have one hit kills. One hit. It was making me so mad because I'm sitting there and I'm dodging their attack for like the frog because he spits out his tongue, and I'm watching him spit his tongue. I'm dodging, and the fucking character, he fucking rotates and still grabs me, and I'm like, bro, you can't. And it's a one-shot kill.
Yeah,
you can't do that. And I got two of those to worry about. I was so pissed. I finally beat it, and I was just. I think I've beaten all the bosses and all the force tears you can find. That's what the two frogs are behind. They're behind a force tear. Okay.
So I just started unlocking the force tears. Okay. I found a second one and I haven't done it yet. Okay. I did the first one and it was just basically kill all these stormtroopers and as fast as you can.
Mm-hmm. They're pretty cool. I'm surprised you didn't come across the first one. The first one was it was on the path, and it's only it was very simple because all you had to do is double jump, and every time you jump, the security walls change.
Oh, actually, sides. I did that. Yeah.
Yeah. I
did do that. Mm-hmm. I was trying to remember what I did that proc that. Anyway, I love the two-handed fighting style. That's fun.
I love all the fighting styles. I'm trying to use the broadsword.
Yeah.
More. I hate it because it's just so slow, and I hate it because you can't interrupt any enemy attacks, but they can interrupt yours, and it's driving me.
There's a one of the talents on the talent tree can stop that. Yeah,
no,
I think it's in the survival tree. You can actually
it's in the perks.
Is it in the perks?
I think it's in the perks, but it's for like when you charge your blaster, you just don't you just don't get interrupted for like one hit when you're trying to charge the blaster. But the blaster charges in 2 milliseconds anyway, so there's no point.
What are you doing, Rathcon? Yeah, we're talking about that Star Trek game.
You just call it Star Trek? I can't see the comments, so I'm there now. Yeah, I don't know why they had this perk for like oh, if you charge the blaster and you get hit, it won't disrupt the blaster. And I'm like, the blaster charges so fast. Like, why are you even holding it for that long? If you charge it and then get hit, it's just your own fault.
Yeah, it is, like I said, hand and fist better than the first game. Like, if you enjoyed the first game, you'll love the second.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's all I can say about it. Like, I can't give it a perfect 10 out of 10 just because I haven't beaten it yet, so I don't know where it's going to go. I have a feeling I know where it's going, and if it goes that way, I'm going to be a little disappointed in the writing, but overall, I'm having a blast with the overall gameplay.
I'm probably farther than you. I'm at 45 hours.
Okay.
I still haven't beat the story.
Okay. So you're up there, so we'll have to see where it goes from there. But I mean,
thoroughly enjoying it. That's all I think about now.
I mean, because
sleep last night and couldn't sleep, and it was like 2 a.m. I was like, well, guess I'm gonna go play Jedi.
So you know what's funny though is I was replaying through the first one, Forgotten Order. I was playing through it, and by the time I beat it, I realized it's like, you know, I actually felt this game was pretty mediocre until that very last mission, where it's just Vader chasing you.
Oh, that was dope.
Yeah, like that.
Oh, that was dope. That was dope.
That mission alone, like, jumped it up a couple of points for me. Like, it was kind of like the ending of Rogue One, where it's just like Vader shows up and it's just tearing ass. And hey, listen. If you have not played that game in, was it 4 years, 5 years? That's on you, bro. That's on you.
Facts. They're like, what are you talking about? Darth Vader's Luke's father? Spoilers alert! What are you talking? Don't do that, man. I haven't watched the movies yet.
Yeah. Knowing him, he doesn't have time to play that type of game. I'm only playing it because like everything else is kind of like hit a lull for me, so I'm just kind of like done for a while in most everything. So I'm just trying to catch up on the single player games while I got some time until next weekend when Diablo drops, or in 3 weeks when Diablo really drops. All right, so like overall so far, I'm gonna give it like a solid 8 out of 10 for playability.
Strong 9. I give it a strong 9.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah, and you're right. You were talking about like the issues people were having with it, or like certain issues. I didn't have any issues. Nvidia dropped a new driver for Redfall, and I got that. It might be the driver why Redfall performed so badly, because I did notice a significant performance drop in Jedi, actually, because I was sitting at 120 like everywhere I went, 4K and Epic. And I was still sitting at like 120 frames, and now some places like it drops to like 80 or so. But when I'm in the main town in Kobo. Yeah, Kobo. When I'm in that main town, I drop down to 40.
Yeah, that main town is a hog.
Yeah.
Like I noticed I get a little bit like of frame drops in that town, and I think it's because they have too many environments stacked on top of each other. Then they try to keep the no loading on boundaries, and it's like the largest area in the entire game. So,
it's valid.
I mean, overall, but it's not a horrible spot. Like, if you're going to have one location in the entire game is going to have a little bit of a performance lag, I'd rather it be in the main town. and not in the middle of, the fight with the Rancor.
Oh, dude, man, I was so pissed. I'm not even talking about the fight with the Rancor. Like, I mean, you see the Rancor, you see it out there, like, okay, I'm about to know what I'm about to get into. Man, I was just walking around in the middle of the planet, just trying to collect flowers, collect seeds, and all of a sudden I turn around and fucking Rancor just smacks me across the fucking face. and I'm like, this hair away from getting another skill point, and he ends up killing me like he did,
Yep.
he grabbed me and like, oh, immediate death, and I died. And I was like, fuck, now I gotta go find this thing to spend time killing it and get my skill point back. But because it was in the world, I couldn't find, like, most of the time, like, if you get killed in the world, you can go back to your location and like grab it. And
Yeah.
just, like, it would just be in that one spot. But no, they're like, oh, you had to go damage this enemy. But the Rancor never respawned, so I couldn't go find it. So I couldn't go get my shit.
So I never saw the one that was walking around. I found the one in the cave for the side mission.
There's one in the cave. I think it just spawned in randomly.
Interesting.
For no reason. Yeah, like as you get farther, like harder enemies just randomly walk around. Like what are like it's not a Yeti, but like they're brown looking Yetis.
Oh gosh, I had it up until you said Yeti, and now I just completely lost it.
Sasquatch.
You're close enough. Close enough.
It's not a brown Yeti; it's a Sasquatch.
Wow. Like I'm gonna lose my Star Wars nerd card here in a minute if I can't figure out the name of this creature off the top of my head. Oh.
And then the ones that the fucking jacked and have the big long mohawk and that fucking drop kick you.
I haven't seen that yet.
You've had to fight those guys. You've had to fight them at least a few times within the story. But they're kind of like greenish yellow, and they have black hair, and it's just like a Vegeta mohawk all the way down their back. They're fucking jacked, and they
Oh yeah.
run away, and then they just run at you, sprint at you, and drop kick you.
So the first couple of those I fought on a cliffside, and I had that talent where I could push big things. Mm-hmm. And so I bait them to a cliff, dodge past them, turn around, and just push them off. So like I would just like I didn't do it legit. Like I just it's like, hey, okay. I got the XP for it. I saw its health bar go from full to dead.
Speaking of it, I'll touch on the XP in a second. But yeah, like so larger enemies like that just start walking around Kobo randomly.
Huh.
And you just find them like even AT. Are they AT4s or ATSTs? Yeah.
I see. ATATs are the 4 legs. ATSTs are the 2s. Or is it the other way? It's ATAT or AT-AT or ATST. Those are the 2 big ones.
ATSTs are the chicken ones, I think.
Okay.
So they just start walking around Kobo randomly, and they have other high level enemies are just randomly on the Kobo, and you're just like, okay, this is fun. I can't really just travel as much as I want to. So there is one part of the story that really kind of irked me a little bit. And it was after you get the key to that door that entire like space gang was trying to find. And because they were trying to open that door so they can get to that base. Mm-hmm. You just walk, like you finally get this thing, you open the door and there's just Imperial stormtroopers everywhere. Made 0 sense in the story. Oh, I think I know. I don't know what you're talking about. Where are we talking?
Like, it was like right after you meet Z. Like she gives you the key to go open the door to the array.
Yes, you're talking about in the array, and they're just all over the array. Yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah, it's
no, because I think they could get there. They needed the key to activate the array.
Was that it?
I think so.
All right, because like
the key to activate the array and then like go to the moon base. So it's not spoilers. It's like decently early on in this.
Yeah. It's like it's right out the gate. It's like your first real mission once you get out of the starter area.
I hate that little blue shit though. That shit pisses me off because I'm at the point where I'm like trying to collect a lot of things too because I'm at first I thought I was like about to end the story, and then they were just like, nope, there's like 10. I got to a point where I'm like, all right, the story is over, and I've now 10 hours past that. So I'm like, oh, I guess we're still cruising.
Yeah.
Long game.
And I can't tell you how many times so far that this game has tricked me into trying to like circumvent like the main story area to go and explore like little side caves. It's like, no, you're totally supposed to be here.
Oh, I've been there too. Like I had to like
Every time, man.
I double check the map a lot.
Yeah.
To be like, should I be going this way? I don't know. I like start creeping a little bit. I see more enemies. I'm just like, I don't know. Do I really want to do this? But I mean, also if it's fine, because it's very easy to backtrack.
It is. And they have actually implemented a lot of quality of life improvements over the first game. Like the ability to fast travel across the planet.
Oh, fast travel is. They need to create fast travel across planets now, because now that I'm like trying to collect stuff, I'm like doing more of the bounties. And so some of them are like on Coruscant and some of them are on Jeddah, but you can only get the bounties when you're in the saloon. So
right.
So you have to go to the saloon and get the bounty. And she's like, oh, it's on a different planet. So now I gotta like run back to the Mantis. I gotta activate the Hollow, and I gotta like spend 4 minutes as the ship tries to take off from the planet, and then finally enter hyperspace. And it's in hyperspace for like a minute, then like listen to everybody talk, and then they're like, "Oh, sit down." I'm looking at Facebook and stuff on my phone. And so they're like, "Sit down." So then like I spend like another like 2 minutes like not realize that I have to hit a button so I can sit down to actually go to the planet.
Yeah. That is a little bit more on the annoying side on that one. But like I said, these are just little quirks of the game. Like you can look past them or you can't. That's up to you. But like I said, massive improvement over Forgotten Order. Massive improvement. And I loved Forgotten Order. So like I'd put in like
you didn't love it that much because you've done it 4 times now, and I haven't corrected you yet, but I'm gonna correct you now. It's Fallen Order. Fallen
Order, yeah. You know what? I for some reason, always have trouble remembering the name of that. I have no idea why.
It's a long name, and I was making fun of it today when I was watching the game boot up for Survivor, because it's it's Star Wars, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Part 1 The Adventure of Calcus. So I'm like, come on, make a longer name.
Yeah.
I don't need this much.
Yeah. All right. Let's we've been on this for 20 minutes, so let's
I have one last thing to say.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of the legendary battles like in bounties you've done, but like sometimes you come across them when you have a sidekick with you.
Mm-hmm.
Try to avoid that, especially if you're XP hungry, because I've been like working these dudes down. And then my sidekick comes in with a final kill. It gives me credit for killing. It gives me credit. It's like you defeated the boss, but it doesn't give me the XP for it.
Oh no shit.
Yeah. I watched it happen once. I was just like, because what I did is like I fought an enemy, and there was 2 of them. Like there was like the main enemy, and then it had its own little sidekick, and I like mind controlled the sidekick to just do most of the work for me. And it came in with the last smack, and I was like, enemy boss defeated. I was like, did I defeat the boss? Because I didn't see the XP code up there. And then it happened again when Bode was traveling with me, and like he killed the last legendary boss, and it didn't give me the XP again. But I was like, boss defeated. I was like, come on, man, that's cheap. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I would say I think the most fun boss fight I've had so far was the drill.
The drill?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that boss fight was fun. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Dude, I was saying it in the first. Sorry, spoiler alerts. I can't say it now. I can't say it now.
Yeah, we're not there yet. We'll give it another week or 2 before we come back to that.
You knew what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Because you're feeling it. You're feeling it. This is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about when we say story and character building.
Yeah.
But also spoiler alerts. It's too late now.
All right. So, have either of you guys watched the new Dungeons and Dragons movie, Honor Amongst Thieves?
I have not.
Okay. So go ahead.
I heard weird things about it. Like I heard it had a very large opening weekend, but then I also heard the movie bombed. So I don't know what happened.
So I haven't actually looked up anything about this movie because I had no ambition to watch it. Like I watched the first preview and I'm like, oh god, no. And then
like I saw them like they're like, oh, we're making a D&D movie. I was like, that looks fucking stupid as shit. I like Chris Pine. I was like, I don't know why he signed up for that one.
I mean, it looked like it was going to be too focused on comedy, and that was kind of really it from what I saw.
So,
Right. It's like you're saying the one clip you saw where he's talking to the dead body. That was funny as shit, though.
yeah. That skit is like 5 minutes long. Like it is freaking hilarious. Now the way that I approached this movie, I didn't know what I was walking into with it, because I've seen the original 3, right? And I've also seen some of the Dungeon Siege movies. Yeah, there's 3 of them. You had the original one with the Wayans. Then you had 2.
Wait, you're saying the Wayne brothers made a Dungeons and Dragons movie?
Yeah. One of the Wayans brothers is the thief in the original Dungeons and Dragons movie. And then they came out with the second one that was straight to TV. And then they did a third one, which was also like, it was bad for Sci-Fi Channel, straight to Sci-Fi Channel bad. So like it got like 0 press or anything like that. And then there's Dungeon Siege movies, which are based on Dungeons and Dragons, which you had like Jason Statham was the lead in one of those. So like I've seen all of those, and I was kind of expecting something to try to take itself a little bit more seriously. It did not. It turned out to be more. It was. Watching the movie was like watching somebody play Dungeons and Dragons. Like all the actors in it looked like they were doing it just because it was fun. Like they were just having a good time with the role, which honestly, I think made the movie better than what it was supposed to be.
I like the movies like that, where like you can tell the actors are having just a fun time playing the role.
Yeah. And like, I was really worried going into it because it is a Wizards of the Coast product, and Wizards of the Coast has dived extremely deep into the identity politics crap. And I was kind of wondering, is this movie just going to be preaching to me about identity politics? And it didn't. Like the closest thing they came was every couple you see was either interracial or interspecies, which in Dungeons and Dragons that happens. Like you're going to have the Dragonborn who hooks up with an orc. That just happens.
I can tell you right now, if were multiple species that we could mate with, I would not be dating a human.
Yeah.
And we all know, right?
Well, like, there's apparently a group of barbarian women who have a thing for gnomes.
I would hope I would be born as a gnome. Ravage me.
And it's one of the tropes of Michelle Rodriguez's character, because she's basically playing the barbarian in the movie, and her trope is she's got a thing for gnomes. I'm going to assume that they're gnomes. Well, the one in the end might be a halfling, but like her ex that you come across is definitely a gnome, because of you could tell and it could be just because that's the way they went with it. I'm going to say gnome only because the proportions of the character, because in Dungeons and Dragons, gnomes are proportionate to their size, like a standardized human proportions, just shorter stature. The halflings in Dungeons and Dragons look like halflings from The Hobbit. So there's a distinct visual difference between the two. If you watch the movie, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But overall, the movie is not memorable at all, but it's fun. Like, that's the thing about it, is I don't regret watching the movie at all. Like, it was a fun movie to sit down and watch. It was a good popcorn flick. The overarching story was pretty generic. You'll see it 100 times. You'll see it another 100 more times. But it was fun. Like, all the characters were relatable in some aspect. Everything kind of followed, there was actual decent character growth for some of the characters. Especially the character playing the sorcerer. I forgot the actor's name. Hell, I can't even remember the other movies he's been in, and that's gonna drive me nuts now. Anyway, yeah, because you had Chris Pine in it, you had Michelle Rodriguez. There's a couple of cameos by some other big name actors. It was fun. Like the whole movie, start to finish, was just fun. There's a little bit of cringe here and there. The pacing is a little off because they have to do flashbacks, so you know what's going on in the current setting and why people are reacting and doing the things they're doing. Like the opening act is a flashback, and it's not done in a stereotypical flashback setting. It's done in a I'm going to tell you what happened so that way you don't put me back in prison. And it's the Chris Pine is playing the Bard, and as his Bard character, he goes into like being a Bard and describing his past history to get out of going back to prison. So it's very Dungeons and Dragons. It's very tabletop. So give it a solid 6 out of 10. I'm just going to ramble on out of it. It was fun, good popcorn flick, not memorable, but fun. Worth the watch. All right. Discord is going to be forcing everybody to change their usernames. I could not find a legitimate reason why, besides that they were talking about like security reasons and duplicate accounts.
I think so, something like that. I don't know. I remember like I was the one that sent that article, and I read it a bit, but then the information got purged. I forget.
Yeah,
like they're trying to get rid of like the numbers at the end of your name and make everything a little bit more unique. Because like as right now, like you can have multiple people with the same name as long as the pound numbers at the end is different.
Yeah, that's the way that
what about people who don't have numbers at the end of their name? What if they're original?
I think they converted everybody to have numbers.
Is that how it works? I've not truly paid attention.
So like if you go up into the top of Discord and like go to like search for friends, you'll pop up as having numbers behind your username.
Yep.
Like they're not they don't pop up in like when you're in a channel. Yeah. They don't pop up when you're in a channel, but the numbers are there if you go into like that. Your actual username is the numbers, basically.
I gotcha. I never go into that, so I guess I never really think about it.
I don't know. It was kind of interesting. I just like to see why. Like they never really explained why. But
I thought I saw something just about making everyone more unique, and so like you can be the only one, which is dumb because people then will just do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
And like, oh, that username's taken. Okay, I'm just gonna add numbers to it.
So yeah, and what's going to happen
that's exactly how it's going to go.
Yeah, or what's going to happen to the people who are, say, influencers, and somebody snags their name before they do.
See, that's what I'm worried about, man. I'm trying to like. I know it's not going to happen soon, but I'm gonna need to remember the name so I can be the first one.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. Like I'm not too worried about it for mine, because mine's pretty unique. Not many people are rocking this one. I think there's another YouTuber that has it, but overall I'm not too worried. Okay, so the way you were saying, were you playing Redfall? Have you played it?
I have not played it.
Okay.
I saw like it had come out and like I saw reviews on it. I was like watching the reviews and I read them and like everyone was butchering this game.
Yeah, like I looked into a couple of people who are reviewing it and they're like, yeah, no, this is just horrible. Not even for just being a bad game. It's just bad. Like all the way down to sometimes like enemies would just lose their AI and just stand there. Then also
a lot of videos like that.
Yeah. Reusing what's the term I'm looking for? Resources
Assets.
within, assets, resources, reusing them within the same frame. So like, all right, let's say like there is a specific layout of trash right here, and they'll use that exact same layout here, here, and here. And you just,
It's too much copy and paste.
yeah, too much copy and paste from the environments. The characters and their classes are not really unique from each other. So I knew this. Go ahead.
When I was watching some of the gameplay, it looked like another game that I've already seen. I'm trying to think of like what exactly, but like the way the shields were set up around some of the enemies and whatnot, like Destiny. That's exactly what it looked like. It looked just like Destiny, but not as good.
I can see that.
You are right about the shields because they had like the 3 shields that just spun around the enemy. Yeah. There were yes. I didn't remember seeing that in Destiny, or at least
That's what Hydra's use. Yeah, so like I knew the game was going to be bad from day one. Like I was really curious about it back when they announced it, and then like I looked into it more and I was like, no, this game's just going to be bad. And I hate that I was right. And there's a couple of games coming out now that I'm interested in, but because of the sources, I'm very cautious. Like there's a Pathfinder game coming out. It just went to Kickstarter, and it's basically a Diablo clone. And while I fully love Paizo and Pathfinder, I like them more than Dungeons and Dragons because they are very more user friendly. They are very more player friendly. Very more grammar. It's a thing. Much more.
I thought very more was good. I was like, no, that's right. That's right.
It just sounded weird coming out of my mouth. I'm just like, this doesn't work. This phrasing is not working for me. It's where was I? Oh yeah. So yeah, I love Paizo. They're a great company when it comes to tabletop RPGs. Their video games, on the other hand, leave you wanting. The other one is, was it Chrono Odyssey? It's going to be a MMO, and it's coming out on console and PC, and it looks stunning. It looks absolutely amazing. It looks like Dark Souls as an MMO with like a little bit higher fantasy to it and a little bit more polish to it. But like I
saw a trailer for that the other day. That does look pretty amazing.
It does. It looks fantastic. The problem is it's a Korean MMO. And this is nothing against Korea or anything like that. It's just 9 times out of 10, when we get an MMO from Korea, you'll put 300 hours into it, and then it's like, oh, by the way, to reach the end game, it's going to cost you more money.
No.
So like
they have like story paywalls.
It's not story paywalls. It's if you want to be the best of the best, it's pay to win.
Oh.
If you want to push end game content, it's pay to win. Like see Black Desert, see Bless.
Oh, I've seen a lot of Black Desert. Like, I had a buddy of mine. He lived on Black Desert. I was like, what is Black Desert? And like he would screen share with me, like, and I would see it, and I was just like, I don't get it, man. But I mean, you do.
To me, it looked like a much fancier version of Dynasty Warriors or something.
Yeah, you can get a little bit of that out of it. Like I was getting, just the way the boss fights were working, I was getting a little bit more Dark Soulsies because of the mechanics. The perfectly.
Yeah, it's like a mix.
Yeah. Like I haven't fully played Dynasty Warriors, like not since like the first one. So.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, if you've played one, you have played them all. I mean, those games have not changed.
It's been 20 years, and like my memory's pretty short.
I played Dynasty Warriors like, was it 4 years ago? Maybe I forgot which one it was. But they really changed it up. Like they made it open world, and like it was weird. I was playing, and I was like, I do not like this. I love Dynasty Warrior games.
I don't know which one you played. I haven't experienced one that was open world, but the maps are pretty large.
right, like the maps were large, but no, it was all one massive map, and like you picked out like who you wanted to start as, and like it was open world, like you were just running around like collecting different things. Like they made it into like an RPG, and like your characters had like, even though like you still had like the same number of characters to choose from, but like you had like to level them up and like buy skills and stuff with them. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I'm not trying to do all this for a Dynasty Warriors game. I just want to I just want to hack and slash and just clear the map of all the little red dots. I just want to spend 2 hours, 2 unnecessary hours doing more than I need to just to clear every single red dot before I go and kill the general. That's all I want to fucking do when I play Dynasty Warriors.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like I said, like I'm gonna be very, very cautiously optimistic about that one. It looks beautiful. It looks great, and it's got a release date for this year. Like not an official release date, but it will be releasing this year. And it's got a lot of competition to pull me away from what I'm gonna like, because we got Diablo coming out in a month, and Armored Core coming out in August. Like that's about it for me for this year. I don't know. I'm on the fence. Like it's got to be something amazing to pull me away from any of that, and also not be pay to win, which is not within the realm of most Korean games.
Well, I also think with how good the game looks, that kind of makes me wonder what like gameplay and stuff is going to actually be like, because I mean, I'm not saying that every game that looks really good doesn't play well, but in this particular case, being like a new IP, it's kind of hard to say.
Hey, that's true too. Their last trailer they dropped was a gameplay trailer, and it looked great still, but like you said,
it had a lot of snippets of gameplay, but it wasn't like solid gameplay for like, longer than a few seconds.
Yeah. Like here's 3 seconds of a boss fight from this angle. Here's 3 seconds from a boss fight of this angle. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, all those little snippets, they did look good. I'll give them that.
But also, what are they recording it on? Is it a monster developer computer, or did they record it via console? Like,
yeah, there's a lot of unanswered questions.
Yeah. What's the frame rate going to be on console? What's the frame rate going to be on PC? Like, can you max it out? Can you do this? Can you do that? There's a lot of cans, ifs, and buts. And it's going to be one of those things that we have to wait for it to come out. Because, like, there's other games coming out in that genre that I was really interested in. I hopped in the beta, and I'm just lost complete interest. So much so that I completely forgot the names of them. SLD, you'll have to remind me next Wednesday. Yeah, so I don't know. It's hoping for the best, but like I'd like to see more good things come out, but we're not really seeing it recently.
Sorry, because I was thinking about it. I found it. It was Dynasty Warriors 9 in 2018.
That was the newest one, right?
I mean, they've had
there's
like
newer ones now, I think.
Yeah, but they're not like full installments. No, those aren't Dynasty Warrior games. I think they're like branch off of Dynasty Warrior games, but they're not like full installments.
Okay.
Yeah, so Dynasty Warriors 9 was the main one.
I want to say actually, like a few years ago, they have tried to redo the franchise by redoing all the characters, like the character models and stuff like that, like just kind of giving the game a new look, but it's still kind of the same game. I think they are like trying to improve like the combo system, stuff like that. Like I was looking into it briefly, but I didn't actually pick it up. I think I played a demo of it. Or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't Dynasty Warriors, it was Samurai Warriors. Basically the same thing though.
Okay. All right, so we'll do one more topic here, and leave it to us. We can talk about random bullshit. All right, so this one I thought was quite interesting. So apparently, with all the weapons and stuff we're handing over to Ukraine, apparently one of the things that they're using to use our weapons is the Steam Deck. They're using it. Yeah, they're using the Steam Deck because it costs a fraction of the price of anything manufactured for these uses, but they're using it as a remote access to turrets and remote access to drones.
I mean, it kind of makes a lot of sense, you know, when you just look at the device and what you could do with it. It makes a lot of sense to use it for that.
Yeah, it does. It was not an article that I was anticipating running across. Like, I typically when you see these kind of things, you're like, hey, we use this $10 million handheld to do these things. And like, no, we're going to use the $600 handheld video game console to do those things. Like,
I mean, it is a computer though.
It is. Yeah, like they developed they've developed their own AI to do all this stuff with.
So, I mean, if it's got the capability, I guess, you know.
Yeah. I'll go for it, I guess, you know.
It's pretty G, man. It's like, you know, like what you see in the movies, like, you know, like they do that like in what else am I thinking about? Like Rainbow Six and stuff. You know, they just put like these little pads and you got everything right there. It's probably easy to like fly drones. You got the joysticks and everything and the buttons already. Easy. Load any software you want on it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to.
It's already set up and ready to go.
Yeah. Which, yeah.
It's probably why it was created in the first place. You know, they advertised it as a gaming console just to fool enemies in Russia. I'm just like, why the fuck did Ukraine just order a shitload of video games while we're invading them? It's just whatever. I guess they just accepted it.
I mean, hey, be sitting there streaming
shipments.
You'll be sitting there streaming your favorite game while you're, hooked up to Starlink from Elon Musk there, and then turn around and, it's like, oh shit, we're getting shot at. Let me just grab this turret real quick. Let me just Alt F4 my game and we'll just hop over real quick. Like, oh, I mean, just the implications are humorous to me. But we'll go ahead and wrap it up there.
Oh, boo.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna keep it short tonight. Get a little bit of relaxation in before this next work week, and then, because sleep is a thing that I need to have at some point in time in my life. And also, just a reminder: no show next week. Happy Mother's Day to all of you beautiful mothers out there, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.